Hello and welcome. Every week, Nigerians hear announcements from government agencies and security authorities about victories against terrorists, bandits, kidnappers, and criminal gangs. Headlines often report dozens of arrests, successful rescue operations, neutralized criminals, and recovered weapons.
And ever since then, we have been on their trail, and subsequently, we had another breakthrough, a major breakthrough, where we have the suspects, the kidnap suspect in custody, a 24-years-old Haruna, who is in our custody right now and has confessed to these crimes. He has confessed to being part of the kidnapping syndicate, whom have been terrorizing Benin-Lagos Express and Benin-Akure Expressway. He has also led us to this point where we are about to recover the remains of some of the victims whom they held in captivity.
Yet, despite these encouraging reports, many ordinary Nigerians remain skeptical. Across social media platforms, radio programs, community meetings, and everyday conversation, one question continues to surface. If security agencies are recording so many successes, why do insecurity and fear still dominate daily lives in many parts of the country? This growing disconnect between official reports and public perception is what many observers describe as transparency gap. It is not only necessary that Nigerians refuse to acknowledge the sacrifices of security personnel. In fact, many citizens appreciate the difficult and dangerous work carried out by our soldiers, police officers, intelligence operatives, and other security agents. However, people are increasingly demanding greater transparency, clearer communication, and more measurable evidence that security gains are translating into long-lasting improvement on the ground. One reason for this skepticism is the continued frequency of violent incidents. In many communities, reports of attacks, kidnappings, killings, and displacement continue to emerge almost daily. Residents hear announcements about successful military operations in one area, only to wake up the next day to news of another attack in a neighboring community. This cycle creates confusion among citizens who struggle to reconcile official success stories with their lived experiences. Many other Nigerians' personal experience often carries more weight than official statistics. Another factor contributing to the transparency gap is the lack of consistent and accessible information. Security briefings often focus on operational achievements, such as the number of suspects arrested, weapons recovered, or camps destroyed. While these informations are important indicators of progress, many citizens want additional information. They want to know whether roads have become safer, whether farmers can return to their fields, whether schools are protected from attacks, and whether displaced families can safely return home. In other words, people are increasingly interested in outcomes rather than activities. The rise of social media has further complicated the situation. Information now spreads faster than ever before. Videos, photographs, eyewitness accounts, and community reports can circulate nationwide within minutes. While some of this information may be inaccurate or misleading, much of it shapes public perception. When local residents share stories that appear inconsistent with official narratives, trust can be weakened. The challenge for authorities is not only to combat insecurity, but also to communicate effectively in an environment where competing versions of events can quickly gain attention. Trust is a critical component of any successful security strategy. Citizens are more likely to cooperate with security agencies when they believe information is accurate, timely, and complete. Communities are often the first source of intelligence regarding suspicious activities, criminal movements, and emerging threats. If public confidence declines, cooperation can suffer, making insecurity operations more difficult. This is why transparency is not simply a public relation issue. It is a strategic necessity that can directly affect operational effectiveness. Many Nigerians are also asking for greater accountability regarding security spending and resource allocation. Over the years, substantial funds have been committed to defense and security operations. Citizens want reassurance that these investments are producing measurable results. They want to see evidence of improved equipment, better intelligence capabilities, stronger community engagement, and enhanced protection for vulnerable population. Transparency in these areas can help build confidence and demonstrate that resources are being used effectively. At the same time, it is important to recognize that security challenges are complex and cannot be solved overnight. Terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, communal conflicts, and organized crime often involve deep-rooted social, economic, and political factors. Progress may occur gradually and unevenly across different regions. Security agencies may achieve significant victories that are not immediately visible to the public. Therefore, while public scrutiny is healthy in a democracy, expectation must also be balanced with an understanding of the complexity of security environments. The solution may lie in a more comprehensive approach to communication. Instead of focusing exclusively on operational statistics, authorities could provide regular updates on community recovery, infrastructure restoration, school reopenings, agricultural activities, and return of displaced persons. These are indicators that ordinary citizens can easily understand and relate to. When people see tangible improvements in their daily lives, confidence in official reports naturally increases. Independent verification can also play a valuable role. Civil society organizations, community leaders, researchers, and the media can contribute to more transparent information environments by independently assessing security developments. Such collaboration can help bridge the gap between official statements and public perception, creating a more balanced understanding of the challenges and progress being made. Ultimately, the transparency gap reflects a broader issue of trust between institutions and citizens. Nigerians want security, but they also want credible information. They want to celebrate genuine progress while remaining informed about ongoing challenges. Closing this gap will require more than military victories alone. It requires consistent communication, measurable outcomes, independent oversight, and a commitment to ensuring that citizens are not only safer, but also confident that the information they receive reflects reality. As Nigeria continues its struggle against insecurity, the question is no longer simply how many arrests have been made or how many criminals have been neutralized. The question increasingly being asked by citizens is whether these efforts are creating lasting peace, or the people can clearly see and feel the results in their communities. Until that question is convincingly answered, the transparency gap is likely to remain a central part of Nigerian national conversation. This is Chimezrim Victoria Kingsley Okoro. Thanks for watching.